Good morning, and welcome to Caron's chapel service. My name is Jim Garvey, and I joined Caron's spiritual care department in January. I'm new to the chapel service, my first time here, and this is really thrilling to be part of this community. Chances are we haven't met, or at least with many of you, and we haven't had an opportunity to get to know each other. So for many of you, I'm a part of a mystery. And that is exactly what I want to speak to you about this morning. Mystery. Most of us hear the word mystery and think that it is some sort of puzzle to be solved, or something I'm lacking, something I don't know. And when we don't know something, we tend to get squirmy, uncomfortable. We want to figure it out, solve the problem, and in doing so, we wind up striving to eliminate mystery, because mystery makes us feel vulnerable, and we'd all prefer to be in control. But actually, mystery is something to feel really good about, not something to be uncomfortable with. Mystery holds our attention. It keeps us engaged. Because without mystery, we will tend to lose interest in things, in people, and we get bored. Have you ever noticed how the fashion and cosmetics advertisements are always photographed in these exotic environments like Morocco or somewhere deep in the Pacific Ocean? Charles Revson, the founder of Revlon, once said, "We don't sell lipstick and mascara. We sell mystery." So if you don't think that mystery needs to be a part of your life, turn to the person sitting next to you. Right now, go ahead. All right? Now, look deeply into their eyes and say to them, "You are so transparent." Now, step back, get out of the way, because you're about to get whacked. So while all of this talk about mystery may be entertaining, how does it fit into our spirituality? It fits in very neatly. In fact, it's central to our spirituality. In many ways, it ties into what we call the God of our understanding, or what I like to say, the God or higher power I don't understand. When you get down to it, all theologies, all spiritualities will admit to this. Just ask a theologian from any tradition to describe the God of their understanding, and they will begin by babbling on about this and that, about their deity, but ultimately they'll raise their hands, shrug their shoulders, tilt their heads to the side, throw up their hands, look quizzically, and conclude by saying, "It's all a big mystery to me." And they would be correct. Mystery is really so much more than something we don't know. What it's really about is something that we will never finish knowing. Mystery is about someone we will never finish knowing, a higher power. Mystery is not a puzzle, not some missing fact or data or bit of information or clue that we've overlooked. It's not a problem to be solved. Mystery is a gift. And it is the threshold to a deeper relationship. When we don't know something, we want to know more. We want to go deeper. And mystery is really about what should be called real knowing. The kind of knowing that can only take place in a relationship. So think of it this way. If I handed you 3 biographies and you watched the 2 movies about Steve Jobs, would you be able to say that you know him? You wouldn't. And you couldn't because there is no relationship. Real knowing is so much more than facts and data and information. It's about entering the mystery of a relationship that we will never finish knowing, at least in this life. Because when we die, and hopefully wind up in some form of an afterlife, we tend to think that we are finally going to arrive at a place where all the mysteries in life are finally going to be cleared up, and we won't have to endure mystery any longer. Right? Not quite. At least I don't think so. Some days I dream that the afterlife is going to be like this humongous cineplex, and I'm going to be able to watch and sit back and see all of human history unfold, including my own, on this gigantic screen that is even better than IMAX 3D. It will have holograms. Cinema 1 will be showing creation. Cinema 4362 will be the scene where Bill Wilson telephoned Dr. Bob. And then there'll be the private screenings about my own life and the journey. And I will cringe my way through it. Like, why did I get that sibling in life? And why didn't I get that job? But then, and here's the really bad part, after watching every one of these episodes in binge fashion for what will be something like 1,000 dog years, all the mysteries will be over. We tend to think that the downside of mystery is having to put up with it all until it all gets revealed. And I mean all. Like, what could really take 10,000 dog years? And then we will have arrived at a place where we have exhausted mystery. Exhausted heaven. Exhausted our understanding of our higher power. And we will have it all at last figured out. We will have seen every episode there is at the Cineplex. And then what? Reruns? Syndications? God forbid, network TV? Right? We'll be sitting there in our recliner seats. The lights will be back on. Popcorn will have nothing left in it but kernels. And we'll be thinking, is that all there is? Isn't there a prequel we can look at? We will have exhausted our higher power and arrived at a very desolate place where there is nothing left to know. So what do we do with the rest of eternity? Put up our feet and simply relax? How much fun can that be after, say, 4 billion years? Well, don't worry. That's not at least how I think it's going to unwind. Because the real truth is, we will never get done knowing our higher power. And what we will come to discover, like we do in all relationships, is that there is infinitely more to know. We'll learn more, and we'll ultimately discover that there's more to know. And that's how we're going to get through eternity, which by all accounts, from what I've heard, lasts a really long time. Just think of evolution as being a blip on the timeline that we call eternity. The distinction I'm making this morning is about the difference between knowing and knowing about. We're not talking about information. We're talking about persons, a divine being. Mystery will remain with us, and we will come to know more, and the more that we learn, the more we will discover that there is more to know. But there is another mystery that we need to talk about, beyond the mystery of our higher power and the mystery that occurs in relationships, and that is the mystery within ourselves. As I often say, there are two great mysteries in life, God and me. When we reflect, when we dig down deep, we discover that we are a mystery unto ourselves. Think of it this way. When you think of your own personal history, you see things differently now that you're sober. You also don't see into your future. We might think we do, but we don't. Perhaps you're sitting here pondering how it is that I needed to come to Wernersville, Pennsylvania, of all places. I can't explain that any better than I could explain the mystery we call recovery. Somehow or another, it arrived on your doorstep, and you decided to open the door. Well, congratulations. You've just stepped into another mystery. Everything I've been speaking about today has hinted at the definition of the word mystery as it is found in the Oxford English Dictionary. It states that the word mystery came from the Greek word mysterion. It defines mystery as, quote, something that is difficult to understand or explain, a novel, play, or movie dealing with a puzzling crime, especially a murder. But then it goes on in its secondary definition to say that mystery is a secret Roman and Greek rite practiced in pagan religions to which only initiates were admitted. Mystery, it says, is about encountering the divine that is beyond understanding. Without mystery, we'd have nothing to say, nothing to do. Without mystery, your life would be static, not dynamic. And then, when you add persons to mystery, everything explodes exponentially. Life would be so stale without mystery. And life has to be fresh and immediate and engaging to hold our attention. But most of all, when you take mystery out of love, love dies. Because mystery is a necessity for love. What takes place in the mystery of a relationship is the giving and receiving of the self. What's even more mysterious is that I can find some clever way to give myself to you today, and it will be total. But then I can give myself fully to you tomorrow, and it can be total, but it will be entirely different again. Because people are not questions to be answered, puzzles to be figured out. We are persons who need to be loved. What's even more mysterious, excuse me, is that when you are involved in the mystery of another relationship, the other person reveals yourself to you. And it is through relationships that we come to know ourselves and more. We hit on the mystery of me. Addiction is all about isolation, and recovery is about connection. And it is the connection, excuse me, that occurs in mystery. That's where real knowing happens. And that's where love is. So as I wrap this up, let me leave you with a few questions to ponder when this service ends and you've got some time on your own. Ask yourself what role mystery and spirituality have played in your life. Ask yourself, how is your higher power using mystery to engage you in sobriety? Ask yourself how your addiction has affected your relationships with yourself and your higher power. And don't just try and figure it out. Ponder it. Take in the mystery. Because eternity goes on forever.